I'm going to speak first. So I just want to introduce myself and Richard for people who are new on the call. My name is Robin. I'm from Western Mass. And I had suffered from very resilient mites, morgellons, collembola, as well as fleas and bed bugs for 3.5 years. And I really wanted to burn my house down. I had just about given up. And one Sunday after church, I asked my pastors to pray for me. And they prayed for God to give me direction and creative solutions. And the next day, I found Richard's book, How to Get Your Life Back from Morgellons and Other Parasites. So I started reading the book, and I started coming to the calls. It took a while for the diet to kick in for me because my house was so infested. But with the help of Richard's protocols and the support of this group, I got through it. And I joined this call for inspiration and direction. I read the book numerous times, and with persistence and aggression and resiliency, I got my life back. And I know you guys too. And I want to tell you a little bit about Richard. So Richard, unlike most people who write books and publish it, they just, they write a book and that's it. But he wrote the first version of this book in 2006, and now he's finishing the 10th version because he never stops researching and learning, and we are his research group, and we help him with that. So as he learns new information and new information comes to light, he updates the book. And unfortunately, even though things are slowly changing, most researchers and doctors don't have a clue about morgellons. In America, doctors don't believe that springtails can infest people, although they do believe that in Europe. Finding anyone who knows how to deal with mites is almost impossible. And Richard has not all the answers, but a lot of solutions that have worked for a lot of people. So that's why I am the co-host, because I want to give back, and that's why we're here. So back in the mid-90s, Richard was going through all this. He went through this himself. He's not just like on a mountain somewhere. And he discovered what he calls the King Diet, which has helped hundreds of people get their life back. I think it's the center of the program. I don't know if you can really get well and stay well without the King Diet. But anyway, he communicates with us through email. He's on this call every Sunday. You can email him questions. You can ask him questions on this call. And he's here to support us. And I think his protocol for me was the most effective to clean my environment and my skin and my body from parasites. So anyway, I'm very grateful for Richard. I'm grateful to be here. And at this point, I'd like to introduce Richard Kuhns. Okay.
Thank you, Robin. The program is being recorded. It will be recorded on YouTube. And I have been in the trenches. As Robin said, I started dealing with these skin parasites in the mid-90s, completely turned my life upside down. And fortunately for me, at the point where I thought that I'd maybe give up, I mean, some days I considered ending my life, as many of you have as well, but I kept going. And fortunately, through a suggestion of a friend, I've tried everything else, and the friend said, well, what about diet? And I thought, well, that's crazy, but what the heck, I tried everything else, so why not? And from my background in operating a stress management clinic, diet we looked at sensitivities, we looked at food allergies, and the way to find out what your food allergies are is basically start with what's called an elimination diet. So I started an elimination diet, starting eating eggs only, and was amazed that within a day, the symptoms had dramatically diminished. Amazing. And so it was a quest of about maybe 2 years of adding foods and seeing if I reacted to them and keeping recorded diary through which eventually the King Diet was developed. Now, I have personally, I'm not in an ivory tower looking down, giving theories, or I don't have an electron microscope examining slides. I mean, I've taken samples to doctors and gotten laughed at, and told I was delusional. I mean, I've gone through that. Just about everybody on this call, I believe, has taken samples, and the best thing is to never, ever take a sample to a doctor and ask him to examine it. Never, ever even discuss the subject of Morgellons. Just go through your symptoms and let him, you're paying him to figure it out. And probably the best answer you can get from him is that, well, you got something, but I'm not sure what it is, and I don't really know how to help. That's a responsible doctor. But nevertheless, through my experiences, I've dealt with columbella, that's springtails, little organisms that there are 6,000 different species or more. They are like 300 microns in size. They have a rod-shaped body with a spring in the middle, which allows them to spring up from the floor or spring off of a plant that they might be on onto anything passing by. And approximately 19 of the 6,000 species are reported to have a desire for human flesh. So not all of them, but about 16 or 19 of them do. They are an important aspect of our environment. Without them, we would be overrun with organic matter and the planet would die. So we want to learn to live with them and figure out what the heck we can do so that these 19 species don't ruin our lives. So I've dealt with columbella. I've dealt with Strongyloides cervicalis. I've dealt with hot tub rash. I've dealt with Morgellons. And the big one of them all, Lyme disease. The biggest and most fearful disease on the planet, except for COVID-19 right now, is Lyme disease. It just about destroyed my life 12 years ago. And I'm here now, fully functioning. I no longer need the diet. So I'm telling you this not to impress you, but to let you know that I have the experience. And through and with that experience, I've communicated with thousands of people via email and learned from them. So I brought the King Diet to the plate, and by working with other people and learning about their experiences, like for instance, the Morgellons Foundation, Dr. Savely, Dr. Carjou, these experts say that Morgellons is not contagious. Oh, well, that's interesting. All right. Yet, personally, I've infected other people, and I've received dozens and dozens of emails from others who have infected their grandchildren. Man, what a terrible feeling that is to realize that the terrible thing that you have, now your grandchild has, you know, what did your grandchild do to deserve this? What did you do to deserve it? You know, so am I to call these people liars? In my own personal experience, to say that I must be delusional, that I really didn't infect other people? You know, bottom line is, not everybody is susceptible. Maybe 1 out of 100. In some cases, the whole family is infected. In other cases, only one person is affected by these organisms. And everybody else in the family says, oh, you must be cuckoo. I mean, the doctor says he can't find anything. You should go to the psych ward. And believe it or not, there are many, many people that have been sent to the psych ward because their doctor and their spouses or family thought they were delusional, had a mental problem, or were into drugs. and it was a sign of having, being a drug user. So I've been through the trenches, and the result is, for me, it was depression, isolation, frustration, anger, uncertainty, confusion. I don't know if I've mentioned any emotions that, is there anyone out there who hasn't gone through or experienced those emotions? It's part of dealing with Morgellons and these skin parasites and mites. Oh yes, I forgot mites. Yes, they are a part of the equation. The mites, I'd say that of the people who send me questionnaires, and I have probably, maybe 1,000 questionnaires over the years, 90% are dealing with mites. Mites are often the vector. Could be bird mites, rat mites, no-see-ums, the red mite. Britannica says there are 45,000 species of mites. So the mites are often the vector that bed bugs, as Robin mentioned earlier, bed bugs are a vector. Carpet beetles are a vector. So these organisms bring the columbella and the Morgellons to their host. And some mites are easy to get rid of. Mine were relatively easy. Some are a total nightmare, a real nightmare and a job in and of itself. So today's call is to provide, these emotions that I just went through and Robin spoke about earlier, is to take these feelings and instead of letting them swamp you, instead of letting them determine your direction and your future, use them as a call to action to get your life back, as hundreds have done using this program and my book. Now, they don't just read the book one time. The initial title of the book was called Soothing the Itch Within You and the Diet to Control It. The program is about the diet. It's like the trunk of the tree. I don't know how success can be accomplished in getting your life back without the diet. And then the tree has many limbs. The environment, cleaning it up, cleaning your skin, cleaning yourself systemically, internally. And then there are many supplements and many other things that are different limbs of the tree carrying different weight. There are many cofactors involved with Morgellons and skin parasites. Lyme disease is probably 90%. The Morgellons research indicates as many as maybe 100% of Morgellons people are dealing with Lyme disease of some variation. Now, we're not saying that everybody who has Lyme disease has Morgellons. No, we're not saying that at all. But basically, they're finding everybody who has Morgellons has one of two forms of Lyme disease, which needs to be dealt with. So there are many cofactors involved. Fungal infection, internal parasites, 5G, EMF. In fact, today's update was about a lady asked if there was a cure. Is there a cure for Morgellons? I mean, am I going to have to be on the diet forever and ever and ever? Well, years and years ago, I did the diet stage 1. It's got 3 stages. Stage 1 is the strictest of them all. And I did it for 90 days. Was symptom-free for about 75, 80 days of the 90 days. Went off the diet, and within 7 days, the symptoms came back. So the diet is not a cure. It is not a cure. But the good thing is that you can advance through the program using stage 1. I think the quickest one can get through stage 1 is maybe 7 to 10 days. Stage 2, several months. And then stage 3 is eating pretty much what you want. Everything that you want, basically, within reason. And get your life back. So now, once you have your life back and you're eating basically anything that you want, that's really good news. But it doesn't mean you're cured, because there is no cure. These are organisms. They're in the environment. We can talk about that in a moment. But they're in the environment. And if you happen upon those organisms again, for instance, if you put something in your closet and it wasn't disinfected effectively, and you take that out 5 years from now, boom, you're reinfected. Well, you now know what to do. They're in the environment. You can go to someone's house and come back with them. You can pick them up on an airplane seat, sitting in an airplane. Yes, beauty parlor. So if you happen upon these organisms out there in the environment where somebody else has left them, deposited them, or where they are growing, well, you're going to get reinfected. That's life. Now, I thought about that answer after I gave it to the lady, and so she asked a cure. And yes, there is a cure. I believe there is a cure. And it is to turn back the hands of time. Turn back the hands of time on several important, it's like The Perfect Storm. If you saw that movie, The Perfect Storm, several things coming together at the same time, just made the worst storm in ever. Well, turn back the hands of time on glyphosate. Go back to the 80s and 90s and get rid of it, and don't let Monsanto spew it all over the world. Get rid of glyphosate. Already they've given billions of dollars for cancer. If you listen to Dr. Zach Bush, who's in the videos GMOs Revealed, autism, diabetes. I mean, they're talking about cancer right now. We should be suing Monsanto for diabetes, for autism, heart disease, Lyme disease. Glyphosate is a natural antibiotic. Now, you don't go drinking it, sure. Well, they used to say that it's so safe you could drink it, but I'd like to see one of their head honchos drink it. But it's water soluble. It gets in the food supply. It gets in the water supply. So it gets in our guts if we're eating non-organic. It gets in there. It destroys the microbes. Socrates said centuries and centuries ago, all disease starts in the gut. And Monsanto has made that possible, made that a true reality. It destroys the blood barrier mechanisms. We could add Alzheimer's to that list as well. So take back the hands of time and get rid of glyphosate. Take back the hands of time and get rid of genetically modified organisms. What are they? Well, it used to be we used chemical pesticides. You sprayed the plant, and if the fruit was starting, the fruit got sprayed. You brought the fruit home. You washed the fruit. You washed off the pesticide. Not that it was perfect, but that's the way it used to be. Well, Monsanto figured out how to put the pesticide inside the seed. So the whole plant has it. And everything the plant produces has it. The corn kernels have it. Everything has it. And when you eat it, that pesticide comes in you. Now, you might not be, if you eat meat, most meat is grown or with corn that's harvested that has glyphosate and the GMOs. So we get it. So take back the hands of time and get rid of Monsanto. And that's a big start. EMF, 5G, 4G isn't bad. That's bad enough. Now we got 5G. And if you follow the research, they're finding out that 5G, the tiny wavelength, actually can stimulate entranceways between the bloodstream and every cell and allows in too much calcium. That upsets the immune system. Dr. Klingart says within 6 months of exposure to 5G, your immune system is significantly compromised. Take back the hands of time and get rid of 5G. That's what we need to do. The other part of the perfect storm. I forgot that one. But there is another part. It'll come to me later on. Well, anyway, we're going to get into the program. And how do you turn back the hands of time? Well, you got to get politically motivated. Get into local politics. Eastern Connecticut township banned 5G. It can be done. Every town can ban it. It would be nice to be done on a federal level. Vote for the people who are going to get rid of Monsanto. Vote for the people who are going to listen to that. Third world countries don't allow glyphosate and GMOs. Third world countries. The FDA is nothing but a revolving door between the executives of Monsanto and the FDA. The FDA figures Monsanto's in the food industry. They should know. Yeah, right. They should know how. They know how to make a profit, make billions and billions of dollars, and then, okay, they can give a few billion to people who die from cancer. Right. And so let's roll back the hands of time. Well, the FDA requires me to inform every one of you that I am not a medical doctor. I'm not here to treat, cure, or mitigate any disease. Before you start the diet, the King Diet, or accept any of my recommendations that we discuss in this program or that I may send to you, that you are to discuss them thoroughly with your medical doctor to make sure they do not interfere with any health problems you're presently experiencing. As I said, the purpose of what we do, what I do, is to help you, educate you on how to clean them out of your environment. That's an important factor. Get them out of the environment. I mean, you start itching and you go to the doctor, and 3 or 4 days later, you're getting nowhere, and suddenly you realize they're everywhere in your house. I mean, you might have brought them into your house, or maybe you have a sick house to start with. That's another subject for another time. But they're all over. You've got to get them out. They're in organisms. You've got to eradicate them from the environment that you live in every day. You've got to get them out of your skin. Bathing, get them out of your skin and get them out of your body. And that's what we're here for, to look at the techniques to accomplish those goals, and then the supplements to boost immune functioning and well-being. Okay, let's talk about isolation. Anyone on the program would like to share your isolationism, how you deal with it, how it's affected you, how many doctors you've gone to? Now, I know that some people may be joining in this call today who are not actually in the program. Perhaps they found out about it Facebook. They haven't started a diet. They have not read the book. So I ask you only to share this aspect of the program, how it's affected you, how many doctors you've gone to. Later on, please do not ask me questions or say, well, you know, I've got this symptom, I got this symptom, and this symptom, and this is happening, and this is happening. And the first question I'm going to ask you is, are you on the diet? And if you're not on the diet, you're in a different planet. You're speaking German. We're here to speak English. We're here. This is a working program for the people, a working call for the people in the program. I invite others to tune in, to listen, to see what it's about. We're not here to sell anybody on this program. We're here for the people who are in the program to fine-tune what they read in the book. As Robin said, the 10th version is about to come out of this book. We keep learning. So there are always questions. We have people who are on the diet, and they have questions about the diet, about whether they can have this or that or whatever. That it's very detailed, and yet there's not everything on that diet. That's every food possible. So please share if you're new and have not been in the program. Share how you're dealing with the stress. How's the stress affecting you? How's it affecting your family? How many doctors have you gone to? Anyone like to share?
Lynn from California.
Hi, Lynn.
Hi. I have to say I am thankful as can be because I got your book before I went to a doctor. So that stress, I did speak to the doctor, but I am not going back. I haven't been back because I don't want to, show her a thing that I collected. And she asked me if I had any. I said, of course I have samples. What do you think? But I didn't go. I canceled the appointment, thank God, because I got your book. And I started the diet when I got so out of hand with my whole face broken out. And I've been on the diet ever since. And I'm not going back to the doctor until probably never. I'll never speak of it. And I have no reason to speak to them about it because it's obviously useless and whatever. So, yeah, my plan is to stay away from them. And thankfully, I didn't have to go see them and get squished down to an ant size or a Morgellon size by them telling me I'm hallucinating. The idiots. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
Thanks, Lynn.
Thank you, Lynn. Thanks for sharing.
And I'm eating the garlic like crazy. I think that's my salvation a lot.
You're eating what?
I don't know.
Garlic.
Garlic. I'm eating garlic, raw garlic like crazy, but my body's craving it.
Yeah.
Oh, it saved my life before I discovered the diet. It's what got me through.
I think my body needs it like 3 times a day, and it's weird, but it's okay with me.
Yeah.
And I'm not around anybody for them to smell me because I'm in isolation, thank you.
How are you dealing with the isolation?
I hate it.
Are you creative?
Well, unfortunately, I need to clean more than be creative because my environment is kind of messed up. But I've got building going on right outside my door so I can have a bathroom so I can wash my hands. But anyway, so the environment's being very disturbed with all those little fun things flopping around. And I have a spray of cedar oil spray, and I've got diatomaceous earth, which I'm about to sprinkle again, because I got to keep them at bay. At least try, and I put vinegar on my floor every day, so when I walk in and out of a door, I think the vinegar's getting the stuff. Ugh. It's exhausting. It's horrible. It's stressful beyond belief. That's all I can say. But
it's like learning a new job, a brand new career that you got to double up on. Before you sit somewhere, you need to disinfect that seat. After you get up, you need to disinfect it. You got to learn to think like these organisms and stay a step ahead of them to get them out of your environment, to eradicate them, clean them. Thank you so much for sharing, Lynn. We're not saying don't go to doctors. I would never want to say that because they are helpful in other things. But when it comes to skin parasites, there's some feedback on the line. Can that be isolated? She wants these experts, and forget it. It's hard to understand. That's not, even if they can identify them, even if they told you it was Morgellon, they wouldn't know what to do. They wouldn't know what to do. They wouldn't know where to start. They wouldn't know about disinfecting. They wouldn't know about diet. They wouldn't know where to go. So what good does it have to do with a diagnosis when nobody knows what to do about it or how to treat it? There's no magic pill. No magic pill. But on the other hand, with being aggressive, you can get your life back. And Robin is my co-host because she read the book many times. As she shared, she was on this call many times. She got the inspiration. She kept at it, and she won the battle and got her life back in about 6 months, which is incredible. Dealing with the most resilient forms, more resilient forms of organisms than I personally dealt with. Anyone else like to share your experience with the frustration, the stress? Anyone? Hello? Anyone else like to share your experience?
Richard in Texas?
Yes, Richard. Welcome.
Yeah, well, one thing I'd like to pass on, these, excuse my expression, but these suckers seem like they're attracted to your hair for some reason. And I've started wearing a shower cap at nights to sleep. And, of course, they're trying their best to get inside that shower cap, you know. But one of the things I found that helps me, I don't know if it helps anybody else, but what helps me is I buy peppermint oil, and I dilute it with water. And if I feel them crawling in a certain area, I'll spray that area and rub it, and it's just like an insecticide. They don't bother anymore. Now, of course, it doesn't keep them away, you know, permanently, but you know, it does help, because if I didn't have that, I don't know what else I could use to keep them away, you know, I mean, other than your products. So,
peppermint oil has been a long-standing oil that we've had in our store for eons and eons. It's used in many ways. Many people, when it comes to dealing with the scalp, they'll make a mixture of our Nature's Gift lavender shampoo. They'll put some peppermint oil in it. They'll mix in some super MSM gel that also has diatomaceous earth and Nature's Gift as well. They'll make up a solution. They will wet their head with that, put a skull cap on, sleep in it. So even if they do get in there, they're not going to like it. They're going to hate it. They're going to die.
Yeah. And I do the same. I you know, put shampoo on my hair, and then I'll spray some of this peppermint oil on there, you know, the diluted, and they're just kicking, trying to stay alive, you know.
But tell me, how, when you first were experiencing the symptoms, what was your experience like with the doctors and the frustration? Can you share a bit about that?
Well, the first doctor I went to my primary care doctor. See, I'm on Medicare since I'm retired, and I went to my Medicare doctor, United Healthcare. I'm not trying to pour them, but that's who they sent me to. And I seen the doctor, and he looked at me, and he said, "Well, I don't see anything in your hair." I said, "Well, believe me, there's something crawling on me. I don't know what it is, but I said there's something, you know, something crawling on me." And so he what he did is he prescribed, I can't remember the name of the elastapine or something like that. It was, and what it is they give it people that imagine that they're having these things crawling on them. And so they started me out at 2.5 milligrams, and then increased it to 5. And when last time I seen him, I said, "Okay, it's up to 5. Well, let's see how long you've been taking this." I said, "Well, over 6 months." And I said, "I'm not imagining this." I said, it's as plain as the sun coming up in the morning. It's real." And, you know, he just looked at me. He says, "Well, you know, a lot of people in nursing homes do imagine this, and, you know, and it's not real." And so I finally got him convinced to send me to a dermatologist. So he sent me, the first dermatologist he sent me to, which was closer to my home than the one I go to now. Anyway, they sent me over to this woman, and I think all she was interested in doing is selling cosmetics instead of really doing anything for the patients. Because when I was sitting in the room and she came in the room, there was a cricket on the floor, and the cricket jumped up in front of her, and she went in hallucinations, sending her. Yes, she said, and so she sent her nurse in to catch the cricket and get it out of there. I seen her 2 or 3 visits, I guess it was, and then I went back to him and I said, this wasn't doing any good, right? So then he sent me to a different dermatologist, and so the different dermatologist is working with me on it, but you know, it's not completely, they don't completely understand what's going on, if you know what I mean.
Right. Thank you. Well, we'll have to have Ethel in Florida send you up a natural gecko to give to the dermatologist.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Richard. Anyone else like to share?
This is Lori from Ohio.
Hi, Lori.
I struggle with the same thing, Richard, in the scalp.
Excuse me for a minute, Lori. Chris, there's an echo on the line. Do you hear it? Any way of figuring out how that's caused? Okay, Lori. Thank you.
With the same thing in the scalp as he does. But my main issue is my scalp, and it's very frustrating because nothing seems to get down into the scalp enough to, get rid of anything.
Well,
so,
have you tried the what I just went through, the shampoo with
I just ordered it. Now so I'm going to try it. Now the peppermint does seem to work for me when I do get them on other parts of my body. It really does. And I have been using the debriding soap, and it made a big difference with my body. So my hair I'm still struggling with, but I'm telling you, I can feel a difference.
Yeah, you'll win the war of the hair. It'll be history in a couple of weeks. Be aggressive.
Yes.
Put on that skull cap, the swimmer's cap. Keep it wet. Mm-hmm. Mimic the idea of your hair being in a bathtub. Just keep them saturated. And even when you feel nothing, still apply it because there still may be eggs there.
Okay. Now, I have a lot of flaking in my hair, and I don't know whether that is like just a fungus from having my hair wet all the time, or maybe that is part of Morgellons. I don't know, but it's freaking me out.
Well, the flaking, that'll come to pass. That'll come to pass.
Okay.
We want to get the organisms out of there.
Okay.
Thank you, Lori.
And I started your diet. I'm 2 days into the diet, so I'm on my way with that. So
fantastic. You want to share a little bit about your first experiences, the frustration, isolation? People deal with isolation differently. If you get our emails, you may notice that there are doodles, actually artwork. Ethel, our greeting coach in Florida, found a way of dealing with the isolation. She took up doodling and got very creative.
I've seen that.
It's amazing.
I started to do those things too, just to keep in the beginning, it was very hard, and I thought contemplating suicide, which that's not me. I had to quit my job. I worked for an ophthalmologist for 19 years. It was hard, and so I quit my job, and I really concentrated on my health. And luckily, I have a wonderful husband and wonderful family, so that helps.
You're blessed. That is very helpful. Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else like to share? Ask a question. Your initial experiences dealing with these things, the frustration. What do you deal with the isolation? How do you deal with the stress? It's stressful.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi. This is Teresa.
Hi, Teresa.
Hi. Sorry, I've been having a little trouble getting in the queue. Yes, you listed a lot of emotions earlier, which are all very valid. You didn't include fear.
Didn't include what?
Fear. I have a lot of fear, and
anxiety.
Yeah, I'm constantly trying to meditate and do deep breathing and work with the fear. But as these other people always state on these calls, really the degree of absolute horror that goes along with these symptoms. And I would like to say I have been to 8 or 9 doctors. I have absolutely got nowhere with any doctors, except for one naturopath who did extensive research on her own without me asking her to, and correctly diagnosed Morgellons.
And that's how I found you guys, which is only a couple of months ago. I have had a dermatologist on the 5th or 6th time I visited her. Strongly imply that this was all in my head. There was nothing in my skin, and I was imagining it. And that was just really, really tough to take. I try to work on my fear, my anxiety, my isolation, my depression, my environment, my internal cleansing, and my external cleansing. But I find it all completely exhausting and overwhelming to try to juggle all of those factors. So that's what I've got.
It is a challenge. Chris, there's still that feedback.
Whoever was speaking right now, I don't know who that person was. She was speaking, and she has logged in from 2 devices.
Oh.
If that was me, I'm not logged in from 2 devices.
Yeah, there is 2 devices coming from your line.
I am only on one call on one line.
How can that be?
I can only make one call at a time.
Huh.
However, the call keeps hanging up on me repeatedly.
That is because you have not identified your number. It comes as anonymous.
Oh, you know what? That was for a specific reason. Okay, I can easily undo that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Well,
okay.
Let's address anxiety. Anxiety is a result of one's intelligence interpreting that there is a threat, a bodily threat. And anxiety is a result of the release of specific hormones, adrenaline, noradrenaline, epinephrine, and cortisol, that have you ready to run from the attacker or to turn and fight the attacker. Now, when it comes to these organisms, you can't run from them. They're on your body. You're gonna if you run to Hawaii, they're gonna go with you. If you go to Mars, they're gonna go with you. You can't fight them. They're too small. So what happens is you're left with these things circulating in these hormones circulating in your body to various levels, depending on the level of anxiety. And the cortisol is the hormone that releases blood sugar to energize, to feed the muscles, to fight. And, of course, with the King diet, sugar is a no-no. So it's often a reality that when you're stressed out, the symptoms you have are going to be worsened, going to be exacerbated because of the stress. And the goal is to recognize that, and as she shared, she uses a deep breathing as a technique to deal with it. And that is wonderful. So the first thing is to recognize, okay, there's nothing really here that's going to fight or that is going to fight or hurt me. No, nobody's going to fight or hurt or threaten my existence. And there's nothing here that I can run away from. That's what you got to realize. You have to bring that. It's important to bring that to your cognitive level of functioning. Now, what I need to deal with is the sympathetic nervous system. It's got me ready to fight or run, and there's nothing here to fight or run from. I mean, it even is helpful to turn your head around. You know, let the subconscious know there's no threat. There's no bodily threat here. Okay? Now, let's do what we can to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system is when you go to sleep. It releases catecholamines. It turns off the sympathetic nervous system. And there are a couple of there are many stress management techniques to do this. You can do visualization, you can do hypnosis, you can do self-hypnosis, you can do meditation, you can do autogenic training, you can do Jacobsonian relaxation techniques. And one of the things that most people learn before they do any of these is deep breathing. Simply stopping, taking a moment, and doing some deep breaths the right way. Now, in the email I sent out, it had instructions for how to do deep breathing and a reminder that you can actually copy and put on your cell phone as a wallpaper, so that every time you answer that stressful device or look at that stressful device, it'll be a reminder to take a few deep breaths to get in the zone. Get in that zone before you respond or look at the text or answer the phone. And Robin's going to take us through deep breathing exercises. And we're going to do it in conjunction. So as you're inhaling, I want you to, when the fight or flight is activated, your muscles are tensed up to some degree, your digestive system stops to some degree or a greater degree, your blood pressure goes up to some degree or a greater degree, your vascular changes, your fingers get cooler, your toes get cooler as blood is diverted to the organs to protect them in case you are cut or lacerated as you're fighting. So, it literally prepares you to fight or run. It's literal. Your IQ also drops. Yeah, your IQ drops. Your IQ drops, and where does creativity go? Down the toilet. And there's no creativity. And part of getting your life back is being creative, taking what I've shared with you in the book and these calls and being creative and keeping diary and keeping notes and putting it all together and get your life back. So Robin's going to go through this, and as you're inhaling, I want you to imagine that you're inhaling confidence, inspiration, health, well-being. And as you're exhaling, you're going to be exhaling frustration, isolation, anger, depression, all those nasty things that we want to create to convert into a call to action with this program. So take it away, Robin.
Okay. So if you're sitting, you're going to sit straight up with your both feet on the floor, shoulders down, chin up. Or if you're standing up straight. You can put your hands on your belly because sorry. Why do people try to call me at this time of day? You can put your hands on your belly because that's where your diaphragm is, and we're going to be breathing from our diaphragm. So we're going to breathe from our nose and out through our mouth. When we breathe from our diaphragm, when we take a breath, our shoulders stay down and our belly expands out. And then we use our stomach muscles to push the air back out in a controlled exhale. And I'm going to count. We're going to breathe in for 5 seconds, hold for 5 seconds, and then breathe out for 10 seconds. And if you can't hold or breathe that long, don't worry about it. Just catch up with us when you can. So we're going to let go of our air and the cleansing breath. And we're going to breathe in through our nose. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. And breathe out. 2,
frustration,
3, 4,
aggravation,
5, 6,
confusion,
7, 8, 9, 10.
irritability,
Breathe in. 2, 3,
creativity,
4, 5. Hold.
health,
2, 3, 4, 5. And breathe out. 2,
confusion,
3, 4,
anxiety,
5, 6, 7,
Frustration.
8, 9, 10. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4,
Health.
5. Hold.
Creativity.
2, 3,
Well-being.
4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Let go.
7, 8,
Let go.
9, 10. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4,
Creativity.
5. Hold.
Love.
2, 3,
Peace.
4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5,
Frustration.
6,
Anxiety.
7, 8, 9,
Let
10.
go.
One more. Breathe in. 2, 3,
Health.
slowly. 4,
Peace.
5. Hold.
Vibrancy.
2, 3, 4,
Creativity.
5. And slowly breathe out. 2,
Frustration.
3, 4,
Aggravation.
5, 6,
Confusion.
7, 8,
Anger.
9, 10.
Depression. Gone. Thank you.
Mm.
Anyone like to share your deep breathing experience, how you feel? Did you get relaxed? Some people have been amazed to find that incorporating deep breathing, they were able to get rid of chronic hypertension that they've had for years simply by managing their breath.
Yep.
Hi, Lynn from California.
Hi, Lynn.
Hi, I was doing the deep breathing before your program today. And so, yeah, I use it more than I ever thought I could remember to use it. I mean, I knew you need to breathe, but I've never been good at it. So, but I'm getting better.
Nice.
And just doing the one with Robin, I mean, of course I feel like going to sleep now, but that's, you know, I got to participate. I have to participate. But I was doing 20 minutes of deep breathing before this call happened because I called early, but I need it. I mean, I wouldn't be alive if it weren't for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing, Lynn. Anyone else like to share?
Andrea from Chicago.
Hi.
Oh, goody.
I would like to say that
No, Doc.
I really like how you named it, that we are breathing in just good things and we are breathing out bad things. It
Yes.
makes me feel much better and breathing efficient. So it's really great idea. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
Great.
Everything is energy. Everything is energy. And all these feelings and emotions have energy levels, frequencies associated with them. So you're breathing out the frequencies that are unhealthy for you and breathing in the frequencies that are healthy for you. Thank you. Anyone else like to share? I timed it so an airplane would fly over at this time.
Alexa, answer.
Hi, Alexa. Someone like to share? Anyone
I would
else?
like to share something. This
Yes.
is Mary Fran. I wanted to remind everyone to check your condiments because it's been a real learning process that rosemary, which is very popular with chicken and herbs, is not good for us, but like oregano is. And something like that can really set us back. So I just wanted to mention that to you guys, that sometimes you might eat something that you innocent.
Yes, it's so easy to mess up. It's amazing that rosemary and licorice and fennel, I mean, they're perfectly fine spices, but the organisms love them. They love them.
Yeah.
And I remembered the other thing, to turn back the hands of time. To cure Morgellons. Turn back the hands of time on the research done with chemtrails. Go back to the 70s and keep the chemtrails at trying to make rain instead of trying to create microbes, or what do they call these things, mini spheres in our bodies to with intelligence. Get back and vote for the people that are going to most likely let this happen. And these things, the Monsanto and the 5G and the chemtrails, they're not in a bubble, but just by themselves. You got to look at coal and oil and their contribution. It's imperative to get these out of our main supply of energy and go to renewable, sun, wind, water. Use those energies. So vote for the people that are going to do that. That's going to save our lives and cure the disease over the course of time. Anyone else like to share?
One from Ohio.
Yes.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was wondering about the bread with spelt. Where do you find bread, or do you have to make your own?
Can I answer that, Richard?
Sure, go right ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So in the book, there is a recipe for spelt bread that's very simple that you can throw together. But there are two bakeries online. One is Berlin Bakery, and the only bread that we can really eat is the sourdough spelt bread, because someone told me there's another bread at Berlin Bakery, but I don't remember what it is. Because
can you repeat that name of that bakery again?
A lot of other ingredients. The other bakery that sells spelt bread is the Columbia County Bread and Granola Company from Pennsylvania. They have a really good spelt bread, and they also have, they call them spelt crisps, which is a cracker, and it's delicious. And it's just spelt and salt and water. So yeah, so you can make your own spelt bread. You can get spelt flour at a natural food store, and some supermarkets are carrying it now. Or you can order already cooked spelt bread. You just have to read ingredients.
Okay. All righty.
And if you're making your own, you don't have to stick with spelt. You can use dark rye. You can use millet. You can mix them, the flours together. You can be creative.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
I have a question.
Was that level 1,
Hello?
stage 1 King diet with the spelt bread?
Yes.
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 Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Now, in rare situations, some people spelt bread as well as rice is a problem in stage 1 in rare situations, but for 99%, there's no problem with it, either one.
Speaking of the diet, Richard, I have a question from Teresa. She said that in the book it says that cod is an oily fish, but she thought it was a lean, white, flaky fish that you should be able to eat on stage 1. Could you comment on that?
What was the question? I didn't get it. Cod is oily, yes.
Is really an oily fish?
To my knowledge it is, but I could be wrong.
So I guess you could try it on stage 1, and if you don't have a reaction, it's probably okay.
I mean, I tried the Chilean sea bass. I thought that would be a great fish, but man, that was bad news.
Bass is oily,
So you have to experiment. That's what the diary is for. You get yourself to a point where you have relatively little, if any, symptoms, and then you try a food, and you see how you feel 20 minutes, 30 minutes after, if there's any activation of symptoms. That's all along. That's all it takes, 20 or 30 minutes. You're going to know. Yep. But however, if you get to the point where you are symptom-free for days on days and you try something new, you might not react. Then there's a delayed response. I forget, dilation factor. It could take longer before you react to it.
2 or 3 days.
Yes. Anyone else like to share? Ask a question.
I do.
Who's this?
Yes? Hello?
Hello?
Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
Hi, this is Lisa in Hawaii.
Yes, Lisa. Hi.
Okay, first time I've tried calling you, so I guess it's working okay. I basically have had these problems since I was a child. I mean, my whole life. So you sort of start to ignore, itching and all these little symptoms, but they've been, I would say, on a mild scale when I was a child, and then it gradually got worse. And the first I heard of Morgellons was about 20 years ago when somebody said they had it. So I started looking into it, and I definitely had it. And I actually had black fibers coming out of my neck. And the only thing that took care of it at that time was I took some ivermectin, which is used for cattle. You pour it on, it's a topical, and you pour it on the skin of the cow. And I just took that product for cattle, and I, after a shower, just doused myself with it, and that worked. And that was the only thing. I tried a whole bunch of stuff. I tried hydrogen peroxide on just a whole bunch of things. That was the only thing that worked on that. I also took it orally. I just took the injectable and took it orally, and that helped a little. But I've still got fibers, but they're very tiny now, microscopic. You can hardly see them, and I still have some sores. But that was the first time I heard of Morgellons. I'd heard of Lyme, but I didn't really realize I had Lyme until I read your stuff about, how if you have Morgellons, you definitely have Lyme. And I definitely have 100% of all the symptoms for Lyme, so I'm pretty sure I have that too. But I thought I'd share with you some things that have worked for me. So, one of the things was about 10 years ago, I took...
Well, if it's not in my protocol, I can't make any comments on it. So would you email me what worked for you so I can review it? As Robin said earlier, we don't want to introduce things as a wild goose chase because Morgellons and these skin parasites are different with different people. Some people are mildly affected by them, and most anything will work for them. Some people are far more dramatically affected, and only very specific things work for them. So that's why we don't want to just share what might have worked or what did work for somebody, and unless it's in the protocol, and then I can comment on it intelligibly.
Okay, well,
so please email me what helped you years ago. I'll be glad to review it.
Sure. The one thing, the Lufrin, which you suggested, I believe helped me dramatically, and I'm still on it, and I've been on it for months now, and I thought the Lufrin was, I just stay on it. I just won't, I'm thinking I probably won't ever go off it because
Lufeneron.
The longer I'm on it,
yes,
the better it gets.
Well, I've had many people email me and said that Lufeneron was the cure. I've had people email me and said that Kenazole was the cure. That's an antifungal. And all that points out, I mentioned it earlier, Morgellons disease itself is basically the antidote for it is boron. And that's
yeah, I tried that
borax.
Didn't
do
much.
And you can overdo that. We have 3 milligram capsule or tablets in our store, and it's part of the protocol. But the problem is that it's rare that you only have Morgellons. You have these other cofactors. So fungal issues, candida, internal fungus, skin fungus, the Lufeneron mites. The Lufeneron keeps the eggs from forming and keeps the fungus from growing. So that's very important. And then on the other hand, to deal with the here and now, we use the kinase enzymes that actually dissolve chitin. That's that's the building blocks of any fungal organism, and also the building blocks of eggs. So we put the two together, and I'm speaking with, emailing with Dr. Luna, who supplies the Lufeneron and the Fenben, and he's informing me of something else that also may be effective against mites in the here and now. So we're looking into that as well. We keep learning, we keep evolving, we keep getting better. Thank you.
Okay.
Anyone else like to share?
India from Chicago. I would like to ask a question. What is better to use, lufenuron or chitinase enzyme?
Both. Both. The lufenuron keeps the future from happening for these things. The enzymes go after the here and now organisms.
Okay. So for the best result, it's recommended to use both. Okay, thank you very much.
Use both. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
Hi, this is Beth.
Hi, Beth.
Hi, Beth.
Hi. How long? So I've been getting better and better and better and better, by the way. And I'm on kinase and the lufenuron.
Wonderful.
But how long? So I have about 30 more days of my lufenuron 2 times around. And I'm wondering, should I up it again? I mean, how
well, lufenuron is a very safe medication. It's non-interactive with any other medication. It doesn't create any side effects, no side effects. So you could literally take it forever if you wanted to because it doesn't create side effects. However, if you have a load of organisms that are laying or trying to lay eggs, you're going to have detox. It's going to get rid of a lot of that. So detox is different than side effects. But itself, you can take it forever.
So if you still have symptoms, you should take it till you have no more symptoms, I think.
Well, that would be the point. Yeah, you don't have to take it forever, but you could take it forever.
Right.
We don't recommend taking it forever. Usually 2 rounds is the most that someone might need, but it's up to you.
Okay. Well, we'll see when I get towards the end if I need a little more.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm getting better and better, but
that's great.
For me, it's been a slow ridding. I think I had, like Robin and Richard in my questionnaire, I had the mites and the Morgellons and the Columella. So it's been, a slow battle to get rid of all of it, but it's working,
right,
and
they're in the environment, so that slows it all down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's
anyway, but I'm very grateful to you guys to lower my anxiety and to just systematically attack these things. So thank you so much.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
Hey,
We're glad to be here for you.
Guys, I'm interrupting. I would like that lady to reach out to me, like, as a buddy, because I have what she has, and she's meeting with success. So I don't know if she's interested or how we could make that happen. This is Mary.
Okay,
Fran.
your name?
Are you talking about Beth?
Mary Fran.
And who are you?
I'm Mary Fran.
Okay.
Oh, Mary Fran.
Yeah. How would I get in touch with her?
Well, at the end, we'll do exchange of. You'll send your phone number to our buddy coach. For those of you who are new, we'll give you a kind of a layout. Chris is the person who is handling the mechanical end of this. I may have asked him several times about the feedback and so forth. He handles the technical portion of this. He's also the person in the office who handles your orders and formulates many of our creams. Robin is my co-host. She also is a coach. Ethel is our greeting coach. She also, she's made phenomenal progress herself and is basically on her way to completely having her life back. We have an herbologist who is also our buddy coach. Her name is Barbara, a wonderful, kind human being. Our first coach is Sandra. She's often getting her wonderful brand new life, and she's not around very much anymore, but she's another wonderful human being. So That's the people who are with us here, all pulling for you. So just when we get to the buddy thing, submit an email to the buddy coach, and she'll connect the two of you.
What's the lady's name?
The lady that was just speaking, your name, please, so you can connect with each other.
That was Beth.
Beth? Okay.
Beth from where? Beth, which state are you
Beth
from?
from Virginia. I'm from Virginia.
Okay, Beth from VA. All right. Wonderful
I have
state.
a question, please.
Yes.
This is hello. This is Jolanta from Iowa.
Yes.
And I still have issues about spraying the house. What do you spray, like your sheets with? They said clove oil might help.
Well, clove oil, yes, I was going to mention that earlier. Clove oil is very effective with mites.
So the calendula also, or?
Yes. Well, you know, interesting. Many people classify calendula as a mite, as a hexapod, but it's actually a species of its own. But you know, there's that intermix for years. So yes, what you might do is make up a mixture of Nature's Gift. Use the concentrate, maybe a half a cap of the Nature's Gift. Put in 8 or 10 drops of clove oil into that cap. Mix them together, and then add that to fill up a spray bottle near the top, and then add that to the 32-ounce spray bottle and shake it up. And the Nature's Gift will disperse the clove oil in the water, so it doesn't just float on top.
Right, but I think that for calambola, the Garden Safe Fungicide 3 organic pesticide works best. The clove oil will help, but the Garden Safe Fungicide 3 is 70% neem oil, and it has a dramatic effect on springtails.
I found also that when I had to throw out the cat tree because my cat passed away, and I feel I had Morgellons on it. I mean, I didn't think much about it at the time, and then a stray kitty used it actually to rest in, and I think it hurt him. So I don't know, is there a way to get rid of the Morgellons out of the cat tree? I've put DE on it, but I guess
it's hard because it's carpeting. I mean, you're better off just, I personally would throw it out because it's really hard to get that stuff out of carpets. You know,
I threw it outdoors
with their claws.
Just throw it in the garbage.
Yeah.
I have it in the garbage, but the kitty, we don't have pickup where I live in the country.
Oh.
So it's just out by the burn barrel. And I really believe it hurt the kitty, and I didn't know what else to do. Burning wouldn't help.
Well, you can also, now that the cat is probably in, you still have the cat?
No, he's a stray, and I was just feeding him, but I could see the way his body was reacting because my cat, although my cat was very old, I saw at the end of his life that he was really contaminated. I could tell by the way he kind of, but he was old. My cat was like 23 now when he passed away. So I just understood what was going on with him. You could just love him. But the stray kitty was a young kitty, and then I saw him acting really weird. And the way he'd have to lie down right away, which is unlike a young cat. So I thought, okay, I saw you in the cat tree. You probably got infected. So there's no way to clear the infection out of there, right?
Well, if the cat is infected, you have to. The cat would have to be treated.
With what?
Right, but you're talking about the cat tree, right? Not the cat.
Well,
yes,
the
cat tree.
But even if you get rid of the cat tree, the cat was using it and it's infected, and that cat would simply contaminate another cat tree.
I see. Okay, well, and what would you do, like, for a stray cat? What could you put in their food so he doesn't see it?
Well, you can give them a program, which is Lufeneron, once a month in their food. It goes by weight. You can get a Seresto collar, which lasts 8 months. You can give them a flea dip with Adam's pyrethrin cat and dog flea dip. But if you're talking about a stray, I mean, that's a lot of work and money to put into a stray cat.
And you have no idea where the cat stays or sleeps.
Right.
Exactly. He just takes off
the
into
bedding,
the ditches.
Yeah, the bedding should be dusted with diatomaceous earth wherever the cat sleeps.
Yes, well, thank you. Yeah, but for the house, clove oil would work like for the sheets. If I want to spray the sheets instead of changing the bed every day, I could use clove oil.
You have to do both. I think you have to do both. You need to wash your sheets and your bedding every day, and then spray everything with clove oil after.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
Yes, Richard, Elizabeth from California.
Yes, Elizabeth.
Yeah, hi, Richard. I believe I have the Morgellons and Calembola, and I already take the lufeneron with albendazole, one treatment, and I bought it a second set. Can I still use it Monday to Friday? How can I take it?
Well, you're saying albendazole?
Yeah, yes, both.
Where did you get the albendazole?
From Texas.
Huh.
Yeah, from the website that you sent me.
Well, lufeneron. You mean fenbendazole?
Yes.
Oh, Fenben. Okay. So you can take them at the same time together. I think the fenbendazole you take 3 days, one capsule, and then you're off 4 days, and then you're on 3 days. With a lufeneron, you take one capsule every day with a pat of butter or some kind of fat.
10 grams of fat.
I'm sorry. Can you say it again?
Yes, the fenbendazole, the recommended dosage is one capsule a day for 3 days, and then off for 4 days.
Right.
And then on for 3 days, one a day.
Okay.
The lufeneron is one capsule a day for like 96 days with fat. You have to have 10 grams of fat. That's like a pad of butter in your egg.
Okay. Got it.
Okay?
Hello?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, Ms. Tony.
Yes.
Yes, I'm from Alaska, and I'm new to this program, and I haven't ordered anything yet, and this is my first time calling.
Welcome.
And
Did you complete the questionnaire yet?
no, I haven't done anything. This is my first time calling.
Okay. How did you learn about the program?
I Googled.
Okay. But did you get an email? Did you get an email from me, or did somebody get?
I
What?
got an email from you.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. Well, there was a questionnaire with it. If you can, open that questionnaire up and complete it. If you have difficulty working with a DOC or DOCX document, email me and I'll send it to you in the questionnaire in an email. Now, by completing the questionnaire, I give you a complete educational analysis of what you're dealing with, and I give you the ABCs. I mean, you can go through the book 5 times and put it all together yourself, but I very quickly put it together for you from A to Z. Bathing, disinfecting, internal parasites, how to deal with them all, and then the protocol, depending on your answer, which supplements would be what you want to look at.
Mm-hmm. So what can I buy for now on to?
Well, generally people start with the debriding soap. The first thing is that people start with the diet. I mean, the diet, by the time they get any product, which could be, depending on where you, did you say Alaska?
Yeah.
it might be a week before you would get it. So you might notice changes. By the time you get it, you'll notice changes. But you would start with a debriding soap that you use in a bath.
Power on. Bluetooth pairing.
That's what most people start with. Then they complete the questionnaire, and then you go through the questionnaire and see, what makes sense to you. Now, as I said earlier, before you accept these recommendations, you're to discuss them with your doctor to make sure that what I recommend doesn't interfere with any health problems you're presently experiencing. That's what the FDA requires me to tell you. Okay? So get the questionnaire in as soon as you can.
Okay.
Thank you.
This
Anyone
is
else?
Lori from Ohio.
Yeah,
this
hi,
is
Lori.
From Ohio again. Now, as far as the Lufeneron and Fenbin, when do you start those protocols?
Yesterday.
Okay, but I don't know quite now. I just need to look them up in the chapter on how to use them and how to go about using them.
Yeah, I just went through the details of that. Fenbin, 1 capsule a day for 3 days, off for 4 days, on for 3 days until you use them up. Lufeneron,
I guess my question is, where do I order them from? That was my question.
Oh,
where do I order them from?
All right. Email me and I'll send you the link. Did you complete the questionnaire?
I did.
All right.
But I didn't get anything. Yeah, I didn't get any of that, like that information.
Did you get the recommendations from me?
Yeah, but they were kind of vague. I mean, it was just kind of whatever I read in the book.
Well, no, it gives you the link to the email me with your name, and I'll send you the recommendations again, and I'll highlight where to order, okay?
Okay. Maybe I missed it. I'm sorry.
No problem. It's a lot of information in that protocol.
Yeah.
Easy to miss.
Yes, okay.
Thank you. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
Yeah. What's my question? Are you asking?
Yes.
Hi. This is Donna from Sag Harbor, and I'd like to ask about the diet. It hasn't been. I've been on it 2 weeks, and it's doing nothing for me right now. I've been trying it, before that, but then I kind of cheated here and there, but I'm feeling good. So, main problem is Columbula. Apparently, Richard said that it's only about 600 microns or milli something. It's
the size of a dust particle.
Okay, mine is huge. It's like, and it is Columbula, I believe.
Well, no, it has the largest Columbula or 300 microns.
300 microns.
If it's huge, it's something else. Hello? What happened there? I lost her.
Yeah.
She logged off for some reason, Richard.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyone else like to share or ask a question? If you're having trouble with the diet, then that's totally possible. The reasons being, there are 3 basic reasons. 1, you're eating something and not looking at the ingredients. For instance, one lady shared that the iodized salt that she was using, you would think it was safe, but it has sugar in it that she found out. Okay, so you really need to read the ingredients of everything that you're consuming. Secondly, you might be on some medications typically for ADHD or narcolepsy, and those medications make it more difficult for the diet to kick in. And thirdly, it may be that your surroundings are so infected that you're constantly getting reinfected, and it's impossible to tell whether the diet is working or not because your surroundings are so infected. So those are the 3 basic reasons. The diet, other than that, works. So I always say, don't try the diet, do the diet. In fact, to beat these organisms, it's important to drive a car with 4 clutches. Driving a car with 1 clutch is a challenge. But simultaneously, the diet, bathing, disinfecting, and using the supplements that are, whatever supplements are affordable to boost your immune functioning and kick things in. Those 4 things simultaneously. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
Betty from Virginia.
Hi, Betty.
Hi. I haven't received my diagnosis yet, but I am pretty sure, 99% sure, that this is living in the air conditioning in the vents. Because whenever I dust tall stuff, I see the same thing that I'm getting out of my skin. You know, like if I'm dusting the top of a mirror or something, and it's underneath a vent. So I don't know how to clean that out.
Well, you need
to get to the... This is a refurbished home.
You need to get to where the air is being sucked into the conditioning system, the intake vents. There, you can either use the ozone machine and run it and spread ozone throughout, or... I saw that, but that looks expensive. You can try spraying ammonia into it until you smell it coming out the out vents. Or you can use clove oil or whatever, you know, any of the disinfectants that are listed in Chapter 3. I don't know which one would be the best for your situation, but that's what you want to do. You want to spray the intake so that it gets into the ductwork and disinfects the ductwork.
Okay. Very good.
And you may have to do it more than once. You might want to do it daily.
Okay. Richard?
Yes.
Maybe you won't agree with this, but I was going to suggest that maybe she try diluted peppermint oil too in the intake, because they hate that.
Clove oil, peppermint oil, lavender, they don't like any of it. Oregano, they don't like any of that stuff.
Okay.
The problem with oils is
thank you.
They're thick and they can mess up electronics.
That's true. So if you're using oils, what you want to do is you want to disperse them. So as I mentioned earlier, take a half a cap of the Nature's Gift concentrate. Add your oil to that cap of concentrate. Stir it, and then put it in the water. A 32-ounce spray bottle, for instance. And you're only gonna spray maybe 4 or 5 sprays into the intake before you smell it coming out the exit. So you're not gonna flood it.
Right. Oh, okay. Very good. I'm glad you said that.
Okay. Thank you for asking.
All right. Thank you.
Anyone else like to ask a question or share? It's soon getting time to close up.
Yeah. Oh, hi. This is Donna.
Yes, Donna.
From Psycho. And I was just talking to someone on the phone. I don't know who it was. Some gentleman who asked me a question. Asked me to ask a question. So I did have a question.
I'll tell you.
I identified one of the organisms that are in me as columbula, but you said that they're only like a dust particle in size. Can you hear me? By the way?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Oh, good. My columbula is 6 inches up to 6 inches long.
Well, that's not columbula. There are hundreds of different organisms. Is it when it comes? Is it live? Does it move? Does it fly?
Oh yeah. No, it doesn't fly. It moves. It's huge.
Is it
and
spiny?
It's coming out of my. Yeah, it hurts
spiny.
like hell.
All right. Well, if you look in the book, I believe there's a picture of the spiny organism. They can be anywhere from 3/4 of an inch long. They're like a barb. They can be 3 inches long.
I'm sorry, I thought you said, was it biting? It's not really spiny. It has a roundish head, sort of like a jelly bean, though. And it has initially 6 legs, and now it has more. And the legs are very long, and they have like little feet on the bottom. And I can't get rid of it. And
well, are you on the protocol? You haven't had the diet kick in yet. You were probably disconnected when I went through that. The diet is very important. It's important to have it kick in. And if you're on any medications for ADHD or narcolepsy, that could be a reason why the diet's not kicking in.
So, okay, what about, have you heard of Qaida? I told my shrink that. She told me to take Qaida.
I'm not familiar with it. No, I'm not familiar with it. But there is a medication, an alternative medication that people with ADHD do use that does not affect dopamine levels. So I don't remember what that is. I have to look it up. I don't know if I did an update about it or not.
Yeah, okay. Is it in the book? Because
I don't think it's probably in the new book coming out, the 10th version, which is due out this week.
Okay.
But there is a medication for ADHD that you can discuss with your doctor that doesn't affect dopamine levels.
Okay.
We're finding out that even turmeric raises dopamine levels, which may make it not good to be using.
Okay. Then I wonder what this thing is, and how can I do? Oh, we could use a frequency-sensitive machine, I suppose, to find out what it is.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. It's a concoction. It's an abortion. Nothing that comes out of the skin is ever something that's identifiable by any microbiologist. Or they all defy. There's no known species. Morgellons affects different organisms and makes them different. So there will be no identification of anything that ever comes out of your skin from Morgellons.
From Morgellons, yeah. That's interesting.
It shifts the DNA. People have waspy things coming out of their skin, but they're not wasps. They look like it, but they're not.
So if we find the frequency, we can't treat it, right?
Well, there are frequencies in the book for Morgellons, frequencies for Lyme disease. You can go through all those frequencies, set up your machine to rotate through the frequencies.
And there are also with some Rife machines, there are hunt and kill. If you have a sample, you can put it in as DNA and then set up a hunt and kill frequency, and it'll kill everything that matches that.
Ooh, that sounds good, Robin. That's. Do you know how to? Well,
you can call me and we can talk about it.
I will. Thank you. I will. Okay, great.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we'll get the diet to kick in for you. Okay, anyone else like to share or ask a question?
About the diet kicking in is one of the drugs like Pimozide or Seroquel, which lowers your dopamine level and makes you more unattractive to the parasites, so that the diet actually does kick in.
Yeah, that's in the book, right?
Yeah, there are 11 medications mentioned. 3 of them over the counter: Claritin, Claritin D, and another antihistamine. I forget what it is. But our buddy coach, the herbologist, we're working on natural herbs to lower dopamine levels. So we don't have to depend on these medications. And this is the irony. These doctors, you go to the psychiatrist and they prescribe ORAP because they think you have delusions of parasites, and they think ORAP and these medications help with delusions of parasites. They don't know that it reduces dopamine. That's why it helps. It's not because you're a mental issue. It reduces dopamine. So they're treating you and not knowing they're treating you effectively.
Right.
What irony. Anyone else like to share or ask a question? Thanks for pointing that out, Robin, about the Pimozide. Anyone else like to share or ask a question before we conclude the program today? Okay, we'll have... Chris, do you have the drawing, the winner of today's drawing?
Yes, Richard. His last 4 digits is 0357.
If the last 4 digits of your phone number are 0357, you're the winner of today's drawing.
Lori from Ohio.
Okay, Lori. Chris has your phone number. He'll be in touch with you, and you can either get a signed copy of the book or $20 credit in the store.
Okay, that sounds great.
Great. Okay, I want to thank Chris for handling the technical aspects. I want to thank Ethel for being our greeting coach, Robin for being my co-host and coach, Barbara, who might or might not be on the program. She's shy, she tells me, our herbologist, Sandra. Love you all. Keep coming back to the program. I hope we succeeded in providing inspiration today, because that's one of the things I want you to keep breathing in when you do that deep breathing. Breathe in inspiration, exhale frustration. This is Richard. Have a great day. Love you all. Keep coming.